الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أعز المرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين، سيما بقية الله روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله، صلى الله عليك وعلى آل بيتك المظلومين المهمومين. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، يا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء. سيدي ما خاب من تمسك بكم وأمن والله من لجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي لنفوز فوزا عظيما. شهر المحرم فاتك العذر، أوجعت قلب الدين يا شهر، فكأن شيمتك الخلاف على آل النبي وشأنك الغدر. يا شهر كم لك عندهم ترة، وكم لك عندهم وتر. لبيض يومك بعد نازلة منها يكاد الدم يحمر. أيطيب عيش وابن فاطمة لهبت حشاه البيض والسمر. تالله لا أنساه مضطهدا حتى يضم عظامي القبر ومشردا إن فاته رمي الجمار فقد أذكى ليب فؤادي الجمر لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم عطروا أفواهكم بذكر محمد وآل محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Let us start with blessing this gathering with another last salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Dear mu'mineen and mu'minat, brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Condolences on the martyrdom anniversary of our Imam Abu Abdullah al-Husayn salawatullah wa salamu alayhi and his companions, and on the arrival of the month of Muharram, this month in which so many poets have spoken to and asked him why, or asked the month why. Nonetheless, we have a clear hadith from the Prophet ﷺ that says, do not become enemies with the days or the months or the time, otherwise they will become your enemy. And in other narrations we have that the time belongs to the highest ones and indeed belongs to Ahlul Bayt salawatullah wa salamu alayhim. Therefore, it is not the time that we should blame, neither it is the month that we should blame. Yes, perhaps as a poetic sense, we talk to the month and we blame the month, but in reality it is the people that one has to blame. The ummah, the nation, is the one that has to be blamed. And that is not just the ummah that happened then, because according to some of our scholars and some of the modern thinkers, in fact, they say about Abdullah Hussein was not martyred once. He was martyred back in the year 61 of Hijrah. That was the first martyrdom. And that was the physical martyrdom. Then the Imam was martyred continuously by his enemies and the enemies of Ahlul Bayt salawatullah wa salamu alayhim, who continuously attacked the personality of the progeny of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and their father Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi afdal salawat wa tahiyyat. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
However, The third and the most painful, in fact, martyrdom or oppression to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, to our Imam, comes through his friends, or those who claim to be his friends and his lovers. This is another level of martyrdom or oppression that Imam Hussein alayhi salam gets from many of us. We know very well, and I spoke, it was yesterday that we had the gathering, and we spoke about faith in the unseen, believing in the unseen. As believers, as Muslims, we believe in the unseen. We believe in the present Imam. We believe that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he witnesses, he sees our actions. We believe that. Quran says it. Anyone who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger and the Quran believes that our actions are witnessed by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And not only that, but also according to the ayah, it says, فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will see your action, the Messenger will see your action, and the believers will also see your actions. And in the tafsir of this ayah, our scholars say it is indeed our Imams. It is no one but our Imams that will witness our actions. That is on a higher level. That is the reality. Sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala.
The reality, brothers and sisters, is that every single one of us on a daily basis can choose to either be what he says, what we say when we do the ziyarah and we say, or when we start the majlis and we say, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum, we wish we were with you, and we would then earn the greatest victory, فَنَفُوزَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. We could choose to either do that and be amongst those who are victorious, or on the other hand, we could choose to be the enemies of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and those who are the cause of more pain to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Now you might wonder how. It's with every choice that we make on a daily basis in our life. Every step of our life we can choose to be Ya laytana kunna ma'akum, we wish we were with you, or we could choose to be against them. Some of the examples, basic examples that we could think of is whenever we have to make a choice, whenever we want to choose on a path that we want to take or not to take. If it's a godly cause and it pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then definitely that is the path that pleases the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if it pleases the Prophet, it pleases the Imams. And therefore, when we have the title of the followers of the Imams, and specifically wearing the black and gathering in commemoration of the martyrdom of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, if we make the godly choice, then we have pleased the heart of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. However, if we make the opposite choice, if we follow shaitan in the choices that we make in our day-to-day transactions, whether to involve in a business, not to involve in a business, to go to a certain place or not to go to a certain place, to sit with certain people or not to sit with certain people. Most of the time we know what is right and what is wrong. To make a statement or not make this statement. A talk that involves gossip, be involved in it or leave it. To wear the hijab or not to wear the hijab. Time of our daily salat, to stand up and pray or to ignore it and do other things. That is the choice that we make. And we are either, with that choice, we are either pleasing the heart of our Imam, and in which case we can say, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum fanafuza fawzan azima. What is ma'akum? Think about it. Ma'akum means with you. Let us think about what we're saying when we say it. Let us think about what we claim to be or to wish for when we are claiming it or when we are saying it. I'm saying, I wish I was with you. Okay. At the time of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, do you think those who were in the opposite army or the opposing army, the enemy of Abu Abdullah Hussein, do you think all of them were indulging in sins day and night, ignoring their salat, drinking? Or if you read the history, you will find that it wasn't the case. There were in fact people who most of them were praying. Many of them recited the Quran. Some of them came from the army of the Khawarij, who fought Amir al-Mu'minin salawatullah wa salamu alayhi in Nahrawan. In fact, one of them was Shimr ibn al-Jawshan. In the army, in the battle of Nahrawan, when the army of Imam Amir al-Mu'minin finished most of the Khawarij that fought, some of them chose not to fight. Those who remained and fought against Amir al-Mu'minin, most of them were killed. There were few of them remaining. One of them looked into the face of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who was one of those who are fighting for Amir al-Mu'minin salawatullah wa salam. And he said to him, Ya Aba Abdullah, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, my robe is too tight. He was a captive. He said, my robe is too tight, it's painful on me. And I'm sure you guys come from a kind family. Would you make it a bit loose so I'm not in pain? The Imam says to him, let me ask permission from my master. He asked Amir al-Mu'minin, Imam Ali alayhi salam. The Imam said to him, go ahead, do it. Then Imam Hussein alayhi salam loosens his robe. That person was none but Shimr ibn al-Jawshan. The same guy who stood on the day of Ashura, fought against Imam Hussein alayhi salam, said the things that he said. Inshallah, we'll share some of the things, the satanic words that came out of his mouth, and did the things that he did, including eventually martyring Imam Hussein alayhi salam, beheading our Imam. Could you imagine that? This is his repayment. How did he get to that? Was Shimr someone who was drunken and so on? No, he wasn't. Read the history. He was not. Just because we come and commemorate Ashura or Muharram and beat our chests and perhaps even shed some tears, which I'll speak about tonight, it does not mean that we're not bringing pain to the heart of our Imam. Not through this action, obviously, but through our fakeness, if we are. On the one hand, we sit and cry and we say, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum. We wish we were with you. On the other hand, the simplest choices come in our life and we make the wrong choice. The simplest matters. Brothers and sisters, none of us have the responsibility to stand up here and fight and give the blood of their life. none of us are under that test. And if we were, God knows how many would have failed. None of us have the responsibility to give up everything that we have and leave, depart. Many people did. One of them, his name was Wahab. He just got married in one of the stations as Imam Hussein alayhi salam was traveling, and this story from the minute that Imam Hussein alayhi salam departed Medina until the day of Ashura, every believing mu'min, mu'mina, Muslim, Muslima, every believing man and woman should read. Read the history from the minute Imam Hussein alayhi salam departed Medina until he was martyred in Karbala. There are so many lessons in every step of the way. Every station had a story, and every story had so many lessons. He was inviting people, picking and choosing people, the cream of the crop, the best of the best, the ones whom he says about them, I never saw companions better than mine, and never saw relatives and a family better than mine. Never. Where can you find a brother like Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, salawatullah wa salam?
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Where can you find companions like Habib and Hur even? He says, مَا رَأَيْتُ أَصْحَابًا خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَصْحَابٍ. Never. He chose them. Every step of the way he was choosing one after the other. It wasn't about numbers. Because victory is not about outnumbering the enemy and finishing them and winning. That's not victory. Victory is about his ideology and his mission to be completed. And that mission was to be completed through his martyrdom. And through the martyrdom of the purest of the pure. And that is why on the 9th night, Imam Hussein alayhi salam came to his companions and said to them, up until now you came with me. You had a responsibility. I was the Imam of the time. I am the Imam of the time. And therefore you have to come with me and you have to support me as long as you can. But now I am asking you, those who want to leave, they can leave. I am telling you, as the Imam, I'm telling you, those who want to leave, they can leave. Those who want to save their lives, they can save their lives. It is okay. That was a filter, brothers and sisters. A filter that filters the best of the best. That Imam Hussein alayhi salam, at that point, he chooses the best companions that deserve to be the companions who every time we say Assalamu ala al-Hussein wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein wa ala awlad al-Hussein wa ala ashab al-Hussein. Every time anyone goes and visits the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala, turns towards the ashab and does the visitation and salutations to the ashab of Abu Abdullah Hussein. They became eternal. Khalidin. This is the reality. How? Through these tests that they passed, one after the other. As I mentioned, one of them named Wahab. Wahab was not a Muslim. And he had just gotten married. A young man who had just gotten married. And imagine the situation. A young man who just gets married, what does he want? He's planning his life, his future, his home, children, enjoying his time with his wife and so on. Then as Imam Hussein alayhi salam was around his town, he sends after him. He knew of this pure heart. He knew of this man deserving to be amongst the companions. Do you think the Imam of the time today does not contact his companions? Today, our present Imam, is he not in contact with his companions? He surely is, brothers and sisters. They would not claim it, they would not say it, because they're not having that special status so that they come and claim fame for themselves. No. They have it because they want to be sincere, they want to be pure. Imam sends after him. He hesitates initially, perhaps testing his mother, perhaps not wanting to displease his wife. He says, I just got married. Then his mother says to him, the son of the daughter of the Prophet is sending after you, and you're hesitant? Go, my son. Whatever he wants from you. And that wasn't it, she followed him. Her daughter-in-law and her husband, 3 people, they left everything, left their lives, their property, whatever it is that they owned, and walked with their Imam, traveled with their Imam. On this mission, that the end of it was almost obvious to everybody. A small group of people going to face a tyrant. The mission was known, and the result of it in the immediate sense was also known. But they made the right choice. Brothers and sisters, others did not make the right choice. One of them, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, sends after him. This man was a Muslim. In fact, was somebody who fought in the army of Imam Ali alayhi salam. But this man did not deserve to be amongst Ashab al-Hussein, this special place. He did not deserve it. As a result, he sends back to the Imam. He says, I have children to take care of, I have property, I have this, I have that. So many excuses, one after the other. Nonetheless, he says to the Imam, I have a very, very fast and very loyal horse. I am willing to give you that horse. You can take my horse to the battlefield. What do you think Imam said to him? We don't need your horse. His test, brothers and sisters, was his life. He failed. He was giving his horse. Think about what your test is. On a daily basis, these tests come. We can make a choice. Either to be amongst the companions, amongst those who can say and be truthful when they say, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum فَنَفُوزَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. The great victory. We can be truthful when we say it, or we could be amongst those who are continuously hurting and bringing pain to the heart of our Imam. Our present Imam and Imam Abu Abdullah Hussein sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Life, brothers and sisters, is full of opportunities, but they pass so quick. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen says, "Al-ightanimu furas al-umr." Take advantage of the opportunities in life, because they pass like clouds. You look at the clouds, they seem very slow, don't they? But in reality, how fast are they? They're very fast. The movement of the clouds, irrespective of what they seem to us, they are fast. And this is how the opportunities in life pass. This opportunity that has just come, brothers and sisters, This is a golden opportunity. Muharram just arrived. An opportunity for us to make that choice, to turn the table, to change our lives from somebody who would be forgotten in history to someone who would be amongst the companions, someone who deserves to be amongst the companions and amongst those who can say and truthfully mean that Ya laytana kunna ma'akum. And this day they make the choice that they are with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This is the golden opportunity. This is the best time. We have all come together. We can make this choice. We can choose tonight. And we all know it. We know where our weakness is. We know where our problem is. We know where does shaitan come to us from. We know where our test is. Most of us know it, if not all. قَدْ تَبَيَّنَ الرُّشْدُ مِنَ الْغَيِّ. Guidance is very clear from misguidance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it clear to us. We know it. Every single one of us. I know where my test is, and I know where I fail. I even know how I can make a change and make myself amongst the victorious ones. If I want to say, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum, I have to make that choice. And decide from tonight that I want to change things. It shouldn't continue any further. Who knows, who can tell me here that they know that they're going to survive until tomorrow or the day after? Anybody? Anybody guarantees the next minute in his life? Nobody. Therefore, we need to make the choice. The sooner, the better. Once we make that choice, that makes or brings or shows the significance of being continuously with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Some of our scholars recommend that after every daily salat, we renew our covenant with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. They stand up after every salat and they say, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Why? Renewing the covenant. So we made the choice today in Muharram. On a daily basis, we're reminding ourselves, because as humans, we need reminders. This is the importance of our relationship with Abu Abdullah Hussein. We know what he went through from those that sent him letters inviting him. And Imam Hussein on the day of Ashura stood and addressed them, one after the other. Ya Fulan, Ya Fulan, Ya Fulan. One after the other he named them. Did you not send me letters? Some of them said Lam naf'al, in fear of the messengers from Yazid and so on, wanting to save their faces. Then the Imam says, Wallahi kadhibtum. By God, you are liars. Bala fa'altum. Yes, you did send letters. Did you not promise last Muharram or in the month of Ramadan that you want to make certain changes? If you say no, you are fooling none but yourself. We make so many promises, so many times, but we have to change, and we have to keep those promises. Tonight we can make that promise, and we can continuously monitor ourselves through that relationship, strong relationship with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This is why we are told, when you drink water, you mention the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The story had so much depth that in every aspect of our life we can see Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This is how Imam Zayn al-Abidin was. This is how the rest of our Imams were. But more so the Imams that witnessed. One day, one of the companions in the masjid in Medina, he drank some water. So he said, after he finished, he said, Assalamu alaikum ya Aba Abdullah. La'anallahu al-zalimina lakum. May God curse those who oppressed you and banned the water from you. The grandson of the Prophet, is this how they treated you? So he felt bad deeply. Imam Zayn al-Abidin salawatullah wa salamu alayhi, if either him or Imam Baqir alayhi salam was in sujood in the masjid, the Imam in sujood, in a long sujood, got off his sujood, asked him, what did you say? He said, I had water, I praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I said, Alhamdulillah, then I gave my salam, my salutations and greetings to Aba Abdullah and cursed his enemies. He said to him, this water that you drank has brought you close to the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With that kind of understanding and connection with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This is why we remember Imam Hussein in the drink of water after our salat. In everything that we do in life, often sometimes people see a young child, an infant child, and remember who? Remember Ali al-Asghar, al-Tifl al-Radhiya. We see different circumstances in life and we remember about Abdullah Hussein. This is the connection that we have to have, in which can remind us and bring us back and give us that reminder. We made that choice that we want to come closer, but we need those reminders. Now comes the question, why the tears? What is the significance of the tears? Now we come together, we remember about Abdullah Hussein, we renew our covenant with the Imam. But why the tears? Why is it so significant? Why is it important not to only cry, but also to try and cry? Some people misunderstand the hadith when it is narrated that we have a hadith that says, "Man baka aw tabaka." You know, the reward of paradise is for those who cry or even try to cry. Tabaka is trying to cry, is trying to be in that grievous mood. Not that one pretends to cry. Some people misunderstand the concept. So they think, you know, even pretending, no. It is about trying. Put yourself in that mood of wanting to cry and trying to weep and trying to get close to Abdullah Hussein and have that strong emotional connection. Because connections, when they come deeper from the heart, when they are real and emotional, they are stronger. In fact, it is the tears that when we read in the ahadith, in the Salatul Layl, Salatul Tahajjud, Nafilat al-Layl, one of the signs of the acceptance of your dua in Salatul Witr, when you stand up and raise your hand and do the qunut in Salatul Witr, is the tears. That is the sign that your dua has been accepted. If it is weeping and crying in the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not that we try and remember our own problems in life and cry. That is obviously a different category. Now, as long as it's in the right direction. The same thing applies here. When we are weeping in love of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and that comes through knowledge. If we don't know Imam Hussein alayhi salam, brothers and sisters, those tears would not be tears for Imam Hussein. In best case scenario, it would be tears in love of our ancestors. Why? Because our ancestors used to love Imam Hussein, so we love him. In other words, we love our ancestors, our parents and grandparents. If we don't know the Imam and we claim to love him, that is the love for our parents and grandparents. As I mentioned, the ayah after Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُم مَنَاسِكَكُمْ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَذِكْرِكُمْ آبَاءَكُمْ أَوْ أَشَدَّ ذِكْرًا. Once you have finished and completed your rituals of Hajj, then remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way you remember your fathers, or even better or more than that. Now many people would ask, how often do we remember our fathers? We pray 5 times a day. Do we remember our fathers 5 times a day? Maybe you don't remember them consciously, but subconsciously we are always remembering them. Everything that we do in love of our culture, traditions, parents, ancestors, that's remembering our fathers. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to forget that, or put that at a lower degree than the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same thing here. Love for Imam Hussein has to be for his personality, for what he stood for. We come back to يَا لَيْتَنَا كُنَّا مَعَكُمْ مع الإمام Hussein, with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Okay, what is Imam Hussein? Ma'iyya, to be with somebody, to be in the company of somebody. You have to love that company. What does Imam Hussein do? If you love the company of those who recite the Quran and pray and are, more concerned about going to Hajj and going to Ziyarah than going on holidays and going to this city and that city and seeing this, the theme park and so on and so forth. If you love those who have got their priorities right, then perhaps you love the company of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. If you enjoy the company of those whom, when it is time for salat, they rush towards prayers, irrespective of what they're doing, then you love Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But if you're annoyed by that kind of behavior, then you love the enemies of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Perhaps think about it. Often it's not just that we cannot do certain things. It is time for salat, we cannot stand up and pray. It is the wrong environment. It is the majlis that people are backbiting and gossiping. It is forbidden for me to be part of. Often we ignore that part and we sit. And if somebody wants to do the right thing, we're annoyed by them. That's when we have to think, which ones are we? Are we amongst those who we really mean, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum? Or are we amongst those who are causing more pain to the Imam, more wounds to the body of the Imam? Inshallah, brothers and sisters, in the next few nights, I'm going to discuss some real examples. But I want you all to think about it. You yourself know the tests. You yourself know when you need to go where and how, and what things you need to avoid. Who do you have to avoid, and whom should you be friends with and closer and company of? You know it. So let's make those choices. And once we make them, we stick to them. And it is those tears that make those choices and those connections even deeper. When we love Imam Hussein alayhi salam for what he stood for. We love Imam Hussein alayhi salam because he wanted to bring more justice and peace. We love him because he stood for return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reform and return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we want to do that ourselves. We want to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by any means possible. if that is our position, and if we continue this kind of connection, then when we hear that this peaceful man, this loving man, this kind man, the grandson of Rahmatan lil Alameen, mercy to mankind, mercy to everything that is living or existing, this man is treated the way that he is treated. We have to ask ourselves, do you know who is Imam Hussein alayhi salam? And do you know what happened to Imam Hussein alayhi salam? These are questions. Once we get to know some of the answers to these questions, we have no choice but to just weep. And the more we try and get connected to the Imam, emotionally, the more we try and do that tabaki, the closer we will be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the aim. The Imam gave the blood of his life, the blood of his heart, for us to be closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let us make those choices and let us make those connections. Imam Hussein alayhi salam departed Medina after he was asked to pay allegiance to Yazid. The year that Muawiyah died, he sent orders, Yazid, his son, whom against the peace treaty with Imam Hassan alayhi salam, that he specifically mentioned that you're not allowed to appoint your son, Yazid. And the one after you die will be Imam Hassan alayhi salam, and if he's not alive will be Imam Hussein alayhi salam. These were part of the peace treaty that he made with Muawiyah. Why? Because Imam Hassan alayhi salam, in a position that could not fight, wanted to expose Muawiyah. Muawiyah was still hiding his true face. It was Yazid that showed that true face. And it was that peace treaty that exposed Muawiyah and prepared the ummah, the nation, against Yazid and against this family. And therefore, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, when he got the letter or the messenger came to him and said, you are to pay allegiance to Yazid, he said, he made that famous statement. He said that Yazid is a person who drinks, is a fasiq. Drinks is not just one issue. It's the issue of openly sinning. A fasiq known to everyone, to the public. Number one. Another aspect of him, قاتل النفس المحترمة. He kills innocent souls. Then the Imam makes this famous, very, very important statement. He says, وَمِثْلِي لَا يُبَايِعُ مِثْلَهُ. He doesn't say, I will not pay allegiance to him. He says, someone like me does not pay allegiance to someone like him. Someone like Imam Hussein alayhi salam will not be following the leadership of someone like Yazid ibn Muawiyah alayhi la'anullah. This is the statement that the Imam made before departing. Then he came to the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he started addressing Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, farewelling the city that he loved. Sallallahu alayk ya madlum Karbala. لما خرج الإمام عليه السلام أخرج معه نساءه وأطفاله. The Imam got ready and got his women, the children, everybody, all the men and the women and the children of Bani Hashim. ولكن أقبل إلى قبر جدي رسول الله. He came towards the grave of the Prophet of Allah. He prayed 2 ركعة. فصلى ركعتين ثم رفع طرفه نحو السماء وقال. He then, after praying, he raised his hands and started saying this dua. اللهم هذا قبر نبيك وأنا ابن بنت نبيك. Oh Allah, this is the grave of your Prophet. I am the son of the daughter of your Prophet. وقد حضرني من الأمر ما قد علمت. I am in the situation that you know of. اللهم إني أحب المعروف وأنكر المنكر. Oh Allah, I love the good deeds. I detest and I forbid evil. If you love Imam Hussein, you have to love good deeds and forbid evil in your life. فأسألك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام بحق هذا القبر ومن فيه إلا اخترت لي ما لك فيه رضا ولرسولك فيه رضا. I ask you by this grave that you make me have the path and the choice that pleases you and pleases your messenger. Tonight we all ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by Aba Abdullah al-Hussein to help us make the choices that please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His messenger. ولهذه الأمة فيه أجر وصلاح. Then he said, also in my choices, make me have the choices that is best for this nation, caring for the nation, caring for you and I. ضمني عندك يا جداه في هذا الضريح علني يا جد من بلوى زماني يستريح. ضاق يا جداه من رحب الفضاء كل فسيح. The Imam prepares himself, everyone is leaving. One of the narrators, he says, I was standing there watching, and everyone from the house of Bani Hashim was coming out. Qamar Bani Hashim came out, everyone. Then I looked at the face of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He looked like the moon when it's full amongst the stars, all these stars around him, the children of Amirul Mu'mineen salawatullah wa salamu alayhi. Then I looked and I saw a lady that came out. She had such a strong charisma. I asked who this lady is. They said, this is Zainab bint Amir al-Mu'mineen. She departed Medina, all the family with her, all the brothers with her. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas helping her, Imam Hussein next to her, all her brothers, her children are there. All of them around her, her nephews, the children of Imam Hussein, Ali al-Akbar is there, Qasim is there, all of them are there. But Zainab on the day of the 11th of Muharram, when they were departing Kufa, Zainab looked around, no one to help her rise on the camel. She looked around, أين قمر العشيرة أين أبا الفضل العباس. She witnessed that they were all bodies, could not respond to her. She turned to Medina. She called to Rasulullah, Jaddah. حين مماتي لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Brothers, in respect of about that, inshallah, we stand up. Those the brothers, if you stand up in this front row and you recite this eulogy with me, inshallah. كربلاء يا كربلاء يا كربلاء كربلاء يا كربلاء يا كربلاء كربلاء يا كربلاء يا كربلاء كربلاء يا كربلاء يا كربلاء. What happened to our Hussein in Karbala? Karbala ya Karbala ya Karbala.
النجاة
يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. اللهم اجعلنا في مقامنا هذا ممن تنال منك صلوات ورحمة ومغفرة. اللهم اجعل محيانا محيا محمد وآل محمد، ومماتنا ممات محمد وآل محمد. Oh Allah, make us live the life of the Prophet and his progeny. Oh Allah, make us die the death of the Prophet and his progeny. Oh Allah, make us amongst the companions of the Prophet and his progeny. Oh Allah, make us amongst the companions of our present Imam. Ajalallah ta'ala farajahu sharif. إلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات الشهداء الصالحين. رحم الله من قرأ السورة المباركة الفاتحة تسبقها صلوات